Elon Musk has shocked Wall Street for the 800th time. Absolutely incredible. Look at the move Tesla's making here today. It's been between a 9 and 10% move almost this entire trading day. Absolutely massive day for Tesla stock. Now, what did I tell you on yesterday's video? Okay, let's rewind and play this little clip here from yesterday.
In terms of stock price, wasn't moving too much after hours. And the reason being is it's all about the conference call. Now, the conference call is the conference call is literally going on as I record this video right now. Now, here's the deal, okay? This stock will be up 10% plus tomorrow if Elon sounds very bullish on the conference call. If he's super bullish on this conference call, be expecting a 10% plus move tomorrow. If he's not...
So, nonetheless, we got very bullish Elon, and I want to show you some of the shocking things that were basically talked about on yesterday's conference call, which that was a very in-depth, kind of long conference call, and I'm going to do a full reaction likely tonight on Farzad's channel. But nonetheless, guys, we got a lot to go through in this video. I also want to talk about a lot of other stocks other than just Tesla in today's video. A lot of other stocks that are flying right now, and a lot of people want my opinion on some of these stocks because they're making some incredible moves, and people are kind of wondering, like, are these stocks still buys? Kind of what's my perspective on some of these stocks and things like that. So we'll speak about all those in this video as well. It's just in the front here we're talking about Elon Musk and obviously Tesla on the conference call and those sorts of things. So appreciate every single person that subscribed to the channel. Thanks for being here. Also, tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow is the absolute huge day where I buy the next group of stocks in the Patreon portfolio. So if you want access to see all the stocks I'm buying in there, check out the pinned comment down there. It is only $10, so you can't beat that deal, man. It is absolutely epic, and yeah, tomorrow's the big day. So get in there before we go ahead and do that. Okay, so first off here, right, conference call. There were several important things that were talked about on that conference call. Here's just kind of some of the biggest things, in my opinion, that were kind of shocking on that conference call, okay? So Elon says demand's about the best he's ever seen it. He talks about some of the demand metric numbers that are absolutely astronomically high. Basically, as soon as they did those price cuts for the 3 and the Y, demand's gone insane. Now, we were kind of getting some confirmation about this from other sources, but we hadn't heard it from Elon Musk specifically. We hadn't heard it from Tesla specifically, right? So to now get that confirmation out of Elon Musk and out of the Tesla team is huge, right? Now, the CFO said something extremely important on the conference call. He said a lot of things that were extremely important. One of these things was this. He says the company's not expecting margins and profitability to basically be hit in any substantial way. And that's huge because everybody saw the price drops, right, for 3 and Y and was thinking immediately like, oh, margins are screwed, profitability screwed. And based upon what he was talking about in that conference call, no, they're not screwed anyway. They could see margins go down a little bit. They could see profitability maybe get hit a little bit, but not any like, oh, it fell off a cliff type situation that a lot of people were concerned about given how big the price drops were for the 3 and the Y, right? And keep in mind with 3 and the Y, it's not just about the price drop, but it was also about the new tax credit, $7,500, right? Next thing that was big here is Cybertruck production is still supposed to start over the summer. That's big, we want to see that vehicle get into some sort of production. That's the next hype vehicle around Tesla that's going to get massive attention over the next few years, right? Tesla has a lot in the pipe. Some of this they talked about, some of this they didn't really go into detail. We're going to get more confirmation in March at the Investor Day. Extremely exciting around that, around future products and things like that, okay? And so overall, on this conference call, we couldn't have asked for more. As long as the stock, you can't ask for more in regards to good old Tesla. So like that's about as good as it gets, okay? And like I said, we're going to go really in depth likely tonight on Farzad's channel, okay? And so nonetheless, Tesla's still a buy. Yeah, today, still a buy, and not a buy anytime soon, nonetheless, okay? Foot Locker stock. This one's making a pretty insane move now. It's getting strange. In a 1 month, the stock's now up almost 21% for Foot Locker. And, this is a sleepy dividend stock. You wouldn't usually think about it making this sort of move in 1 month. And it hasn't, reported earnings or anything like that, so a little strange. So I was kind of looking into this a bit, right? And it was hard for me to find that much. I found this article from Forbes from a few days ago talking about Foot Locker, buy right earns 80% annualized return if assigned at $40. On the buy right, if Foot Locker closes above $40 at expiration on February 17th, your shares would be sold automatically at $40 and would likely earn you $2 per share on a $38 risk, 5.2%. I mean, something like that maybe can go around and get some excitement around the stock. I don't know. I did see this. This came out yesterday. Foot Locker closing call center in Oshkosh, laying off nearly 100 employees. So that is something I saw there, and that does make me think, it kind of goes into the whole, do layoffs and your stock price goes up, right? And it's unfortunate, but this is actually what we're seeing out there on Wall Street right now, where a company lays off employees, and does their stock price go down? No, their stock price goes up, and they get rewarded for that. And we're in a very strange market right now where you do a layoff and you're going to get rewarded. Your stock price is going to go up, and it's not the most bullish thing for the economy, right? But gosh, it's clear as day. You do a layoff, and next thing you know, your stock's up 5-10% like that, right? Now, in regards to Foot Locker, this is my third biggest investment in my dividends only account, which is available for everybody in the private stock group to see every single move I make in regards to that account, right? And we're up over $12,000 on the stock. It doesn't even include dividends received, which is an amazing dividend payer. And my thought is is this stock still a buy in it now or not, right? And bottom line is, Foot Locker is still a buy. This baby is a buy all the way to $50. At $50, that's kind of the point to start pulling back, in my opinion. It's a forward P under 10, good balance sheet, solid business model, not going anywhere, no big threat out there for them, right? It's just all the same competitors they always have to compete with. And so they're just in a really, really good spot. And it's just a profit cash flow machine company. They sell needs-based products, shoes. And people always got money for shoes, regardless of the economic climate out there, nonetheless. So, Foot Locker is just in a really good position. It's still a buy. It's still a buy, man. And this is a stock I'm still going to be likely buying in the future, maybe in the Patreon portfolio. We'll have to see about that, okay? I do own it in the Patreon portfolio, by the way. Meta is flying. First thing I want to say, congrats to all the longs. All the folks that were buying the stock in late October, early November, and saw this stock go under $100 and just recognize that this was a steal of the century. Steal of the century. Tesla recently going down to about 101, that was a massive steal. But I think, from a risk-reward standpoint, Meta was just as good, when it fell under $100 as kind of Tesla Myeso there. The stock's already climbed 64% since early November. So, a matter of a few months here, this baby is absolutely flying. Now, the thing with Meta, right, because people are wondering, is this stock still a buy, right? In the public account, which is available for everybody in the private stock group to see every single move I've ever made in the history of that account, we're up $43,000 on this position now, okay? This baby's just getting started. We'll be up $200,000 before you know it, and then $300,000, then $400,000 in this position. This is like the baby start of this whole show, okay? People see a 60-something% move and they think that's the big move. No, that's the starter move. We're at the appetizer phase with Meta stock right now. This stock's a buy all the way to $200. And when I say buy, I'm talking about strong buy. After 200, between 200 and 250, it's kind of like what I call a light buy. After 250, that's the place to kind of dial it back, in my personal opinion, right? And this company, one of the best balance sheets in the world, one of the greatest business models in the world, they've already been through the hurricane now at this point in time. The hurricane's over. And the hurricane was the government was on their tail for years and years and years. They had to deal with TikTok, which we'll see if TikTok actually gets banned. If it does, it doesn't even matter at this point in time because Instagram Reels is taken off in such a massive way now that it literally doesn't even matter. I think Instagram's going to likely do to TikTok what Instagram did to Snapchat, which is pretty incredible, where Snapchat had this huge lead in stories and whatnot, and then Instagram just totally took that and ran with it, and they've done the same exact thing with Instagram Reels, and that's just taken off like a massive beast now at this point in time. So nonetheless, and Meta just has great news moving forward now at this point in time. Obviously, the ad market's weak, but at the end of the day, where's the number one place? If you're a business, you're going to advertise. I don't care if you're a small business, a mid-sized business, or a large business. The number one place you have to advertise over every other possibility is Facebook. The number two place is Instagram. After that, you can consider Google search, you can consider YouTube, you can consider, other random socials and things like that. But the number two places, Facebook and Instagram. And then everything else is a distant third, fourth, and fifth place, okay? And so nonetheless, folks, this stock is in a prime position for the next, not just year, but for the next several years now at this point in time. They've been through the hurricane, and all this Tesla longs that have been on this, all this Meta longs that have been on this ride for a bit here, it's been a rocky roller coaster, man. But nonetheless, this baby is ready to have some fun now at this point in time. Google McDougal is a buy, and I own the stock, but it's not a screaming buy. It's not a meta situation. The problem with Google is they're about to go into the hurricane. So you got to understand with Google, you are going to deal with a lot of volatility and a lot of drama over this next couple of years, okay? They have two huge issues, and I mean epic issues, okay? The first one is ChatGPT. Now, this is a serious, actually, threat to Google over the long term. Not over this next 12 months, but over this next 12 years, it is, okay? Now, from what I'm hearing, folks, okay, this is from what I'm personally hearing. I'm hearing that Sergey Brin, Larry Page, the founders of Google, I hear they're even being called in to help in this situation because executive teams, management is so worried about this ChatGPT that they're even calling in the big dogs who aren't even very involved with the company anymore because they're taking it that serious, okay? So to call in Larry Page and Sergey Brin to say, hey guys, come on, let's have a little chat. We got to figure out what we're going to do here, okay? That's very serious. That means that Google is scared, which they should be. And I think that's a great thing for Google. I think if they were going into this just too confident and thinking oh, yeah, we don't have to worry about this ChatGPT stuff, this artificial intelligence stuff, it's not a threat to us. It's just some little small thing. I think that would be the moment to worry. The fact that Google's taking this so serious lets you know that it's serious, but it also lets you know that management's on top of this and they're going to do the best job possible fighting this off. But that's one thing you got to work through if you own Google stock, which I own a small position in Google. The second thing is government's now on their tail. No different than they were on Meta for the last 5 years. They were on, it's been years that they were on Meta. The attack on Meta is lessening, and that's kind of going away now. And now it's going to be moved to Google. Okay, and so the government's now on Google's tail, and it's going to be pretty significant because they believe Google is kind of almost operating like a monopoly, right? And so they're going to try to treat them very similar to how they treated Microsoft in the late 90s, and then hurt Microsoft in a substantial way. And so Google's going to have to work through that. And it's, like I said, it's not going away tomorrow or next month. This is going to be around for several years with the government on their tail. So this is a very serious matter on two different fronts for Google McDougal. And so Google's going to have to work through some crap now, man. They're going to have to work through some crap, and you just got to understand, if you're part of this ride, it's going to be a bumpy ride, okay? Elf on a shelf. This stock just continues to move up. It's every day we make another $1,000, $2,000 in this stock, right? Up another 2% plus here today. We're up $50,000 on our remaining ELF shares, up almost 700% on this one. And a lot of folks look at a stock like this and are is it a buy? My personal opinion is, not really. Okay, not great pricing on ELF on a shelf now at this point in time. Now, I think their next 5 years is going to really be all about profitability, and they're likely going to scale net income much more rapidly than they're going to scale revenue. Okay, so that's great news for ELF. But at the same time, I don't think you're getting great pricing on a stock like this, and so I'm kind of I think it could be a moneymaker over the next few years, but I think the huge returns are now behind ELF on a shelf, in my personal opinion, as somebody that's a shareholder of this stock. And I have no problem speaking about some stocks, whether it's Google or whether it's ELF or some of these stocks, and kind of giving my perspective on they're just, not great buys. They're okay buys, but not great buys. And that's kind of my view on ELF. I think, honest, I'm 100% convinced this is my next ELF. Now, I could be wrong. I was obviously wrong about the chef, right? Look what's happened to the chef. And maybe Honest does the same exact thing. I don't think Honest is a chef. I think Honest is the next ELF. I am 100% convinced. When I look at all the data I look at for this company, I think they're on the verge of reaching critical mass in terms of revenue over this next year. And I think they're going to actually improve margins in a massive, epic way. I'm talking many percentage points of margin improvement just over this next year. Never mind in future years. I think the net income will start ramping up, especially in the kind of back half of 23 and moving into 2024. And so I think this is a company that's just going to set to be an absolutely explosive stock. And I think all of a sudden, next thing you know, it'll be at $10, it'll be at $20, it'll be at $30. It'll move pretty darn rapidly. And so we'll see. I could be wrong on this. Now, unfortunately, with stocks like ELF, stocks like Honest, a lot of these companies, they're female, their customer base are females. Let's just be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Their customer base are Honest. Honest sells cosmetics, right? Beauty products, which they're really getting into a bigger and bigger way, which is a very high margin. They sell things like soaps and shampoos. They sell things like diapers and wipes. Like almost everybody that goes to buy an Honest product, or the high majority, are females, right? And same thing with Elf Cosmetics, Elf Beauty, right? And so a lot of retail men don't even give these stocks a chance. And it's unfortunate because some of the best returns you can ever get are from some of these sorts of companies, right? I'll give you a great example. This is Ulta stock for the past 15 years since I got in the market, essentially, right? And Ulta stock is up thousands and thousands and thousands of percentage points since I got in the market, right? I mean, it's been one of the best stocks since I got in the market 15 years ago. Incredible stock, right? But I can tell you, a lot of guys don't even, that are retail guys, they don't even give a stock like this a chance. Because they're like, I don't shop at Ulta, I don't buy cosmetics, I don't buy beauty products. And so they don't even bother to pay any attention, right? And that's unfortunate because, maybe if you just spent a little time researching the company, understanding what makes them successful and understanding where they're going and, follow their trajectory, you didn't have to get all 8,000% return. But you could have got 1,000% return, a 2,000% return, a 3,000% return if maybe you just started following it, listening to conference calls, listening in 2009, 2010, 2011 as they were continuing to build their business and getting a better place, right? But unfortunately, a lot of retail men don't even give these stocks a chance. And they just miss out on some of the best opportunities. Look at Estee Lauder stock over the past 10, 20 years. You look at some of these female-related companies, I call them, right? Where their customer base are mostly females, and unfortunately, retail men just miss out on these opportunities. Instead, they're like, "Oh, I like big TVs, I like computers, I like video games, man. I like Best Buy." And it's like you go buy Best Buy stock, and look how Best Buy stock's done since I got in the market. It hasn't even doubled. The stock hasn't even doubled in the past 15 years. But that's retail guys. They run to these sorts of stocks, and they miss out on the thousands of percent gained because they think, oh, it's not relevant to me, so it doesn't matter. And it's like, dude, you gotta think bigger than that. You've got to think bigger than that. Or next thing you know, you're going to be in Best Buy for 15 years and you're going to miss Ulta. And Ulta would have changed your life. And Best Buy would have just caused you a lot of frustration over the past 15 years. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So the best thing I could say is take those sorts of companies very, very serious, okay? Oh, one last check of Tesla here, 10%. 10% move, man. Right on the button with that, okay? Now, let me close out with kind of my thoughts about Tesla stock moving forward here, okay? So I think Tesla's in an absolutely amazing position now at this point in time for the next, as kind of as far as the eye can see now at this point in time. Because here's what we have going on. We know demand for 3 and Y is going to likely continue to stay strong because they've brought down pricing. We know Tesla's going to take massive market share from other auto manufacturers, okay? So that's phenomenal. We got Cybertruck going into some sort of production this summer, okay? That will likely hurt profitability a little bit in the short term as they ramp that, but they also have a lot of cost savings they're going to start really getting in terms of Austin and Berlin Gigafactories, so that will definitely offset, right? The 4680 cells is definitely going to help the company in a pretty significant way, likely when it comes to margins and profitability as well as streamlining production even more. And so we got the next likely hype cycle around Cybertruck, plus we got Investor Day coming up where Tesla might show off or talk about some new future products that's going to add some more excitement here. So in my opinion, Tesla has gone through the worst situation they could have gone through in kind of late 2020 with the Elon stuff, with the distraction, with Twitter, with all that drama show, right? The demand worries, recession worries, all those sorts of things. And I think Tesla's now put themselves in a position to be, regardless of the economy, regardless of interest rates, regardless of any of that, Tesla's going to tear it up. Even in a recessionary scenario, there's still massive amounts. We're talking to 10 million plus vehicles. Even in a bad recession, there'll be 10 million plus new vehicles sold a year, even if we were talking about a significant recession. And Tesla's taken massive market share. And so I think just Tesla's in a great position for not just the rest of this year, but several years to go in the future now at this point in time. They kind of got across their worst case scenario. Now it's brighter days ahead, man, and a lot brighter days. And so I remain extremely bullish. I'm the most bullish I've been on Tesla in years, to be quite frank, probably since 2019. I haven't been this bullish about Tesla's next 3 to 5 years since probably 2019, to be quite frank. And so they are in a great position, and I'm very thrilled as a shareholder, and the stock's still a buy, man. And someday it won't be again. Maybe when it gets to a $1.2 trillion market cap or $1.5 trillion market cap or something, maybe it'll be a time to take a step back. But for now, it's still absolutely a buy. I appreciate everybody joining me as always. Thanks for being subscribed. Make sure you join us on Patreon. That is the pinned comment down there. I'm buying the new stocks tomorrow. What am I going to buy? Check it out, guys. Appreciate y'all. Much love and have a great day.